The other thing that we do is we don't allow young people to have a grief process like we allow adults to. So we think they need to just suck it up and not experience grief, and that they're using it. Somehow they're using that as manipulation. So in the juvenile justice system, if you're incarcerated and your grandparent dies, you're not allowed to go to the funeral. And then later, when you act out and have problems, nobody understands why you were acting out and having problems. People go through grieving in different ways, but there's a process, and everybody has a process. And when we act like children don't deserve that process, we teach them really important messages about the value of life and the value of themselves. And it's not good messages, and it's not things that they then do positive behaviors with. So we really have to think about how we do that and why we do it. And I think a lot of the time it's the adults' issues around grief and loss and not being able to deal with it. Abrupt, unexplained, or indefinite separation from a parent, primary caregiver, sibling, due to circumstances beyond the child victim's control. This is really important. We also think, sometimes even in our own services here, that we're here to protect children, and that sometimes that means removing them or moving them or taking them away from people. And we don't take time to understand the impact that it has on the children. And sometimes it's necessary and there's nothing we can do about it, but we still need to deal with what the impact of it is. So we have a program in our mentoring program that's specifically for children of incarcerated parents. And we're really looking at what happens to young people when one of your parents is not there and your parent is taken away. And you don't know when your parent is coming back, and you don't have contact, and you don't get daily parenting from them. You don't get to attach with them. And then someday that parent comes back into your life, and how to help that relationship get back together. But another really sad thing that we do to kids in the name of protecting them is we move them around a lot. And we don't think about the effect that it has on them. So there's a term that's on here that I'm going to talk about, which is ambiguous loss. And it's this sort of loss of things, intangible things. And so for our young people, we used to hear this all the time. They'd get moved from one group home to another, and then back into custody, and then back to a foster parent, and they would say, I want my genes. I really want my genes that are like 3 places back. And I know somebody took those genes, and I really want those genes. And adults would say, that is beyond your problem. Those genes are not your problem. You need to focus on this. Those genes are their problem because that's their stuff. And if I asked every single one of you today to get up and move to each other's houses and not take your stuff, and then a week later move to somebody else's houses, you guys would all freak out and act out in different ways. And that's what they do. They freak out and they act in different ways because we ask them to move around. Most of our kids, when we interview them, don't have a single thing with them. They don't have a toothbrush, they don't have an object of clothing, they don't have anything that belongs to them. So what do they learn? That things are not constant. They can't hold on to things, they can't hold on to people, they can't hold on to relationships. Nothing is consistent, and they can't count on anything. So then they go out in the world and they act like that, and then we punish them for acting like that when we've taught them that over and over and over again.